Was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford Coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
You know, Chuck, the thing I want to talk about next, and this is killing me, and the dealers are complaining about it. But guess what? I think it's high time this comes in. And here we go with regulations again by the government. But the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, everything that says federal on it can't fix anything.
Right.
But here, the Federal Trade Commission's proposed new rules on auto dealerships would cost customers more time and dealers more money than the agency expects. A new Center for Automotive Research study concludes. In other words, the dealers said, hey, you be messing with us. The FTC in June 2022 proposed requiring expanded disclosure and consent on finance and insurance products and physical accessories not provided to the consumer or installed on the vehicle by the motor vehicle manufacturer. The agency is also considering cracking down on dealership statements related to the cost of financing or the vehicle itself, seeking to curtail bait and switch pricing and lower monthly payments that mask higher overall costs to a consumer. And they do. The agency has not taken any further action on its plan following the close of a public comment period last year. The agency is afraid of them. Under the FTC's plan, the average consumer would spend 2 more hours on a vehicle transaction. This is what the Center for Automotive Research wrote in a May analysis based on polling more than 60 dealerships. Now, the FTC has predicted its rules would save consumers 3 hours of total time spent researching, shopping, and visiting dealerships to buy a vehicle. Here's the deal, Chuck. They want truth in lending. They want the dealership, these F&I guys. You ever go to a dealer, you go in the F&I guy, the finance and insurance guy's office, and it's like dark gray with dark, I mean, it's sulky. It's not good. And this is where they get you. This is where you find out what you're really going to pay for this vehicle. That number on the window, that means nothing.
Right.
When this guy gets done with you, people are getting hosed. They're getting charged for accessories they shouldn't be charged for. They're getting financing, and then they're offering longer financing, not telling you that this car now just cost you an extra $4,000 because you got 2 more years on your financing.
Because they ask you, what do you want your payment to be? Not
exactly.
How much do you want to pay? What do you want your payment to be?
Exactly. And these are just, the car dealers are up in arms. No, it'll make it take too long to process these deals and stuff. No, it won't. No, it will make you honest. It will make you stop doing what you're doing. The FTC is wise to this now. Whether they get away with it or not, whether they get involved in it or not, it depends on who's got the biggest lobby on Capitol Hill. Because these car dealers, this National Automotive Dealer Association, and their brand new company they just formed, Center for Automotive Research. Yeah, they're researching. What they're doing is they're researching ways to get the FTC to leave them alone and let them keep hosing people on the finance, insurance, and the accessories. And okay, you want your payment to be $370? It's $370 for the rest of your life. Come on, this isn't right, and it's been this way for quite a while, and it needs to change. We're paying way too much for these cars now as it is. And then you want to take and you want to finance and insure it, and you want to accessorize it, and you want to do this and that, and you want to add all kind of destination fees, and just stop it. Just stop it. How about truth in lending? How about truth in lending? What's wrong with that, Charles?
Right. Well, they already have that. That's why it's supposed to be in giant letters what your payments, what your total payments are and everything like that. But again, we talked about this before, is the idea that you're going to create a situation where instead of creating a lifetime of a loyal family coming to your dealership, they're going to leave there not happy with you, and then they're not going to come back. And then when people like Tesla show up, and even now, not even Tesla, but even going back to like the Carvana model or all these the new models are what you go online because kids don't like to have confrontation.
No,
kids don't like to be on the phone. Kids don't like to have face.
They don't seem to care what anything costs either.
So but I'm saying you don't have to haggle. You go online. You're agreeing to a price. There's no haggling. There's no hidden anything. Hopefully, and that's what you're going to push people towards that model if you keep doing this.
Well, and that's exactly what's happening. You get in that F&I office now. The finance, your interest rate is flexible. You know why it's flexible? It depends on how much he can get you for. That's what it's flexible. And they have had several companies that they have caught raising insurance rates on minorities and different people.
I mean, anybody that doesn't know any better. You see a young woman come in, a young kid, a minority, anybody that they think isn't going to bother to read the 50 pages of fine print.
Right, the 50 pages of fine print that tells you, hey, we're hosing you. So, and the FTC wants to get into that. Well, right now they're being blocked and they're kind of backing off. And like I said, it depends on who greases Capitol Hill the most.
But again, I think ultimately, if they're going to do this, the market will work itself out. The market will just stop going to them. The market will stop.
God, you would hope so.
You would hope so.
You would absolutely hope so. Everything should be in black and white, full view, and upfront and honest. And if it's not, walk out. Leave. Don't even think about it. Okay. Oh, I'm going to tell you a little something here that I don't usually brag. But when this company first came out, I said, oh, boy, they're not going to make it. I don't think they're going to make it. And it's a startup. It's an electric truck startup, pickup truck. And, well, all of a sudden they had a couple of good investors. They had Amazon and Ford. And, oh, my God, those are deep pockets, trust me. Well, the next thing you know, Amazon backs away. Ford backs away. And now Rivian is predicted to lose their NASDAQ spot. Shares of Rivian Automotive Inc., the money-losing EV startup, may get pushed out of the NASDAQ 100 index as early as this month after plunging more than 90% from their original or their record high, according to J.P. Morgan Securities. The index typically removes the smallest members of the NASDAQ 100 if the company is weighted at less than 0.1% of the gauge for 2 consecutive months. J.P. Morgan analyst Min Moon writes in a note on Thursday, as Rivian was below 0.1% as of April 28th and May 31st. Moon expects the car maker to be excluded from the index on the third Friday of June. A removal from the index would deal another blow to a stock that has plummeted since soon after its November 2021 initial public offering. Apparently they don't have the deep pockets, and I said they weren't going to make it. And when they got those deep pockets, I said, well, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They should be. And turns out I was right all along. They're not going to make it.
There we go. I said, about to make a joke there. I said, next thing you know, they're going to get pinched trying to sell cocaine.
That's DeLorean. Oops. Whoops.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's right.
But look, it isn't cheap. You've talked about all these rules and regulations. It's not easy to start a car company.
No, it's not. Especially if you don't have the lobbying power that these other companies do. And
you're not going to start a car company unless you have an Amazon or an Apple or somebody like that behind you.
You need some big numbers.
You're not going to have a John DeLorean show up with a suitcase full of money and go, I'm going to start a car company. It's not going to work that way anymore.
You need some large green, as they say. Yes,
you need to show results, and that's Rivian's problem is. They're showing results. They're showing some nice looking vehicles. The trucks are looking nice. They're just not fast enough. That's the problem.
There you go. And I think that's where this is going. Mary Barra, Matter of fact, the first lady to run a major car company. She runs General Motors, and they brought her right at the beginning of the ignition gate, and she weathered the storm. She's still there and doing a good job. She doesn't think that this app thing is going to work. I'll read it to you, and you tell me what she's saying. She doesn't think that they're having to buy services and apps and software is the way to go.
Okay.
General Motors sees the biggest revenue opportunities from software and services that go beyond what vehicles offer today, rather than charging for features such as heated seats,
right, or
that customers already expect,
or saving your carjacked child.
Yes, saving
your kidnapped child.
CEO
that's an extra.
Mary Barra said Friday. Yeah, the Volkswagen. Oh my God. Such software and services represent a major growth opportunity for GM, particularly as they extend beyond a vehicle's first owner. Exactly. Barra said at a Bernstein Investor Conference Friday that she said the automaker has learned from its OnStar safety and connectivity service what consumers are willing to pay for and what they expect to be in the vehicle.
Or what the government's going to mandate.
These space safety features are going to be mandated. You watch. GM has seen a willingness for something that's above and beyond, Barra said, citing examples such as safety and security devices, in-vehicle wireless hotspot capability, or vehicle customization. If I buy my vehicle today and 2 years from now there's something that's been invented that's new, or a new service or a new feature, people are willing to pay for that. And so I think there's a lot of opportunities, she said. The team's already done a lot of work. We've done a lot of research in understanding what the consumer will pay for and what they won't. Some automakers, including BMW, have upset customers by instituting monthly fees in overseas markets to activate built-in features such as heated seats. We got a couple more things to talk about what's going on now here. And this is why I really do think that this electric vehicle craze is going to reach a plateau and it's going to level off, because other car manufacturers are all starting to work on different things. Here's Toyota. Toyota's next hydrogen-powered vehicle will be what they call their Crown sedan. Toyota is rolling out its next hydrogen fuel cell passenger car this year in a bid to more than double its global sales of the zero emissions technology in the current fiscal year. But instead of making it dedicated nameplate like the Mirai, Toyota will option the hydrogen drivetrain in the upcoming Crown sedan when it first hits the market in Japan this fall. It is unclear whether the sedan variant will come to the U.S. We don't know if we're going to get one here yet. Hydrogen fuel cell technology is a critical link in Toyota Motor Company's multi-pronged strategy for achieving carbon neutrality, zero emissions. The addition of a second passenger vehicle to its fuel cell lineup following the Mirai brings Toyota a step closer to popularizing the technology. In a briefing about Toyota's drivetrain technology in April, Executive Vice President Hiroki Nakajima said the company sees mass production of fuel cells being driven by commercial vehicles, a lot of commercial vehicles, which, by the way, I think Toyota sold their fuel cell technology. One of the key thrusts of Toyota's decision last week to agree with Daimler Truck on combining their commercial truck subsidiaries, Hino and Mitsubishi Fuso. That's exactly right. Toyota they sold out to Mercedes and teamed up to make large trucks hydrogen powered. Now, Mercedes has been doing this for a while, and they have hydrogen stations all over Europe strategically placed for the delivery routes that the Mercedes hydrogen-powered vehicles take. And they're still working on the hydrogen motor. No fuel cell, no more batteries, no more lithium-ion, no more cobalt, none of that stuff. It will be a motor that runs and burns hydrogen and puts zero out the tailpipe. Well, let's see. There's a Chinese company. They claim they have breakthrough with an EV battery. Somebody has it here. A Chinese battery startup, claims to have overcome one of the key sticking points for electric car owners. And it was a key sticking point. The loss of power capability and range in cold climates. Greater Bay Technology says its new Phoenix cell is made with superconducting materials and contains thermal management technology that can heat the battery pack from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 77 degrees Fahrenheit in 5 minutes. That allows the lithium-ion battery to operate as normal and charge within 6 minutes in all weather conditions, according to Huang Xingdong, Greater Bay's co-founder and chairman. Chuck, I'm not wild about that. I'm not wild about you putting a heater on a battery, a lithium-ion battery.
Well, they have to do something.
I understand that. They have to get rid of lithium-ion is what they have to do.
Well,
That.
there's
They're not going the right direction. This is not. And if you want to know which way the batteries are going here, well, I got 2 articles for GM. ArcelorMittal, that's our neighbors right up here in Gary, North America, said on Tuesday the steelmaker will supply General Motors with recycled and renewably produced steel, which substantially lowers CO2 emissions. Not in the car, of course, but in their process. Material will be supplied from ArcelorMittal Dofasco in Hamilton, Ontario, and shipments are expected to begin the second quarter of 2023, the company said. The terms of the deal, they're not saying who's buying what and how much they're paying. One of the most energy-intensive industries worldwide, accounting for approximately 8% of global annual carbon dioxide emissions, is under pressure to cut back, and that is the steel industry. CEO Aditya Mittal had said in March that stripping out carbon from steel production would drive up prices by about 10% to 20%, adding that this could make green producers' business models unviable. Well, you know what? Somebody's got to pay. I mean, everything's going to go up. You watch. It is steel with physically lower CO2 emissions, which will help drive the achievement of ArcelorMittal's goal to be carbon neutral, said Peter LeBlanc, CMO at automotive at ArcelorMittal. He's the CMO of automotive at ArcelorMittal. Now, I don't know, Chuck. Do we have to? I mean, everybody's getting a piece of the pie. Everybody's getting a raise. Everybody's going up.
Right.